In my days of traveling to Pakistan as a reporter, which was some time back, I used to say something in my more cynical or maybe more facetious moments, that all my friends in Pakistani media have become either wazir or mushir or safir, which means a minister, advisor or ambassador. My guest this week is somebody who in many ways became all of the three and still remains a journalist at heart.
Thank you.
And
I take that as a compliment, Shekhar.
and a real badmash journalist as that, which is also a compliment for you and me.
Well, I would not necessarily endorse the word, but I would say I share the sentiment.
Typical Hussain Haqqani. Hussain,
Such a pleasure.
welcome to Walk the Talk.
It's a pleasure being here.
We've had many conversations over 2.5 decades, first on camera. So nothing is off the record.
Absolutely.
So tell me something.
Ask me the toughest questions now.
And no diplomatic immunity. I know you've done
Absolutely.
two ambassadorial postings, one to Sri Lanka, one to
United States.
all important Washington. As you know, I have not been traveling to Pakistan for some time, so I'm ignorant. Treat me as just another Indian who only reads about Pakistan in his papers, and give me a tutorial. This is your first and last opportunity to lecture me.
It's very difficult to lecture you, Shekhar, but let me just say that the most important thing people in India need to understand is that Pakistan is no longer a monolith. Even though some people want to present it as that, but Pakistan and its various dimensions, its pluralism, is now asserting itself. Whether the outcome is good or bad, we will see over time. But democracy is definitely something on which people are agreeing. You remember the time when Mr. Nawaz Sharif and the People's Party used to disagree, one would let the other be toppled. Now, neither one would allow a military intervention. Everybody wants the democratic process.
In fact, the other
to
would
continue.
justify the toppling. And
Yes.
the other would say, Suwen should have known what was coming.
Look, we have had 5 years of democratic rule,
Right.
and this is the first civilian government that will complete its term and have another election and hand over power, hopefully, to another civilian government. But the key thing is, this is also the first civilian government in Pakistani history that has not arrested its opponents, that has not filed cases against them, that has not persecuted or prosecuted people. In fact, the people who have been prosecuted have been people from within the government by our judiciary, but it has not been the old game of
I mean,
winner
people like
take
you, for
all.
example.
Yes, but it's not
You've
been
had a nasty time back home.
Well, I have had a difficult time, but let me just say, the good news is I have not been charged with anything. I have not been convicted of anything. No trial has taken place. What we have is judicial smoke and mirrors.
They try to hit you with treason, no less.
Well, treason, of course, is always a matter of what people see. I think I am a better patriot than those accusing me of treason because I offer an alternative vision for Pakistan. I say that Pakistan needs to go beyond its old paradigms. Instead of being an ideological state, it needs to be a state that is responsive to its people. It's a state that needs to make peace with all its neighbors rather than trying to win wars which we have never been able to win.
Which nobody can win, in fact. But explain this, maybe you and I can understand this formula or this formulation, ideological state and a modern constitutional state. Explain this to an ignorant Indian like me.
Well, first of all, I don't think, I'm somebody who feels that the people in Pakistan have a very negative view of India because that's what's been fed. People in India have a negative view of Pakistan. Actually, Pakistanis need to go beyond.
Remember the book in the 50s, Scars on Our Minds?
Yes, absolutely. The definition of India as an existential enemy is incorrect in Pakistan. And in India, looking at Pakistan only through the lens of partition and an uneasy
but
is not good.
today a jihadi state.
No, well, Pakistan is not a jihadi state. Pakistan
About
has
to be
jihadis.
taken over by the Taliban, unless it's already been taken over by the Taliban.
Pakistan has a lot of jihadis. Pakistan has jihadis who use force to try and take over. The reason why they use force is because they cannot win an election.
Right.
That said, of course, our state apparatus, and I wrote the book on it.
Right.
Pakistan Between Mosque and Military is my book that explains
And you have
how
one
it all
more coming
evolved.
out now.
And I have another one coming out on the United States' role in Pakistan and in India-Pakistan relations as well. But my point is that it was an insecurity. And sometimes insecure people pursue policies that actually end up bringing all their fears into reality because of their policies. It was an insecure policy, thinking that somehow Pakistan is not sufficiently coherent and therefore we need to impose an ideology. Instead of an ideology, Pakistan needs to recognize that it's a pluralist state. Look, the original Pakistan, as it was meant to be, would have had about 23% non-Muslim minorities.
Right.
It ended up having only 3 or 4% because of the circumstances of partition. Subsequently, Pakistan's hardline clerics demanded that the Ahmadis be declared non-Muslims.
And some of your great national heroes, including your most successful general in the 71 war, were Ahmadis.
Yes, they were Ahmadis. And so the point is that it's a small...
The general who led your units in the Champ sector in 71 was
Definitely General Akhtar Malik. He was an Ahmadi.
Your first Nobel laureate.
And our only Nobel laureate.
Only Nobel laureate.
Dr. Abdus Salam was an Ahmadi. Our first foreign minister who got the UN resolutions on Kashmir
Ahmadi,
passed was an Ahmadi. But the point is that if the state starts deciding who is and who is not a Muslim, then there will be others who will say, okay, ab isko bhi karo. And it will not stop there. There's a wonderful sher by a Pakistani poet कि जाने कब कौन किसे मार दे काफिर कहकर शहर का शहर मुसलमान हुआ फिरता है. So what?
I don't even translate this.
No, I think people will understand, and those who don't understand are probably not interested in poetry anyway. So उनको शेर सुनाने का फायदा नहीं है.
Let them be innocent.
Absolutely. But the important thing here is that the ideological state paradigm narrows the function of the nation as a whole.
Explain the Lashkar phenomenon to me.
Well, look.
Everybody explains it, but let's have the Hussain Haqqani explanation.
Well, my simple point is that there should be no Lashkar, no Sipah in Pakistan except Pakistan.
Sipai
Sahaba.
Which is a conservative, very
extremist
right wing
group. Well, it's an extremist group that considers Shias and non-Muslims,
right,
and therefore picks out professional Shias and kills them,
right,
and also attacks Shias while they are praying in their mosques.
Right.
My point is that the whole idea of Pakistan was that Muslims should have some sense of security. If Muslims cannot pray in a mosque because of the sect they belong to, then we have not achieved the purpose of Pakistan, and we need to review all of that. So a practical, functional, constitutional state with, of course, Islam being the religion of the majority, being respected, but not an ideological state that decides before any reality, any objective reality, what is our enemy, what is our concern. Concerns should be based on whatever is happening.
Which works somehow on the presumption that Islam khatre mein hai.
देखिए ना, I mean, Islam has not been in danger for 14 centuries.
Right.
And very frankly, many a state has come and many a state has gone. I mean...
And Islam has grown.
And Islam has grown. There are more Muslims in the world today, even though the Muslim kingdom of Bejapur and Golconda are no longer there, even if the Nizam of Dakkan no longer acts as the Mahafiz-e-Islam, even as the Amirul Momineens of history are gone, Islam is still there.